So everyone, Joker movie. We haven't spoken about it in a couple of weeks, which is, that video is kind of quite related to this video because everywhere out there, left, right, and center now for the past week or maybe a little bit more than that, everyone is singing this movie's praises. And it doesn't necessarily surprise me because I vibed very early on that this was going to be very successful, but people are now saying this is going to soar flying to the Oscars for a nomination, whether that's for Best Actor. And we're going to have to talk about everything else, but let's break down what everyone, or what all of this buzz is about the Joker movie. How's it going, guys? Welcome to a brand new, I don't know, discussion video, I guess, on just Joker. A couple of weeks ago, well, let me start off by saying this. If you would have asked me, quite literally, my most anticipated movie of 2019, going back ages, I've been covering this movie for a long time, which, kind of gives it away, and this whole video gives it away. That is Todd Phillips' Joker movie starring Joaquin Phoenix. Now, this isn't because I'm a massive DC fanboy or a Joker fanboy or anything like that. Genuinely, the ingredients of this film that were coming together was making up, for this potion to be brewing flipping amazing. Whether that's Todd Phillips, whether that's obviously the character being right up my street, but there's a lot more moving elements to when a film goes on than that. Like, they've cast Joaquin Phoenix. I've been a big fan of his for a long time. Honestly, he sold me back in, was it 2006? Or I think I saw this movie a couple years later than that, but Walk the Line. He's a very talented actor. Obviously, we're all human beings with different brains and different opinions here. So a couple of weeks ago, I made a video, I think it was called Why the Joker, or Why Joker the movie will be great. You're probably seeing a little thumbnail of it on screen right now. I want to say thanks for all the support. If you've already watched that, it's just about to hit 100k views. And that was an actual real passion project of mine in terms of a video essay, if you will. Just because I haven't seen this movie. All I've been doing is covering it ever since there was any scrap of pre-production news or production news. And then obviously throughout the trailer until now. That's all I've seen, but I spoke with a lot of confidence and conviction in that video about why this movie is going to be great. Now, the joke's going to be on me if this movie flops, but this is where today's video kind of comes in because everyone is kind of singing its praises. Now, of course, it could still suck. I'm just going to put that out there, but I don't think it will, just for a whole multitude of reasons. So I'm going to bring up this article. I haven't done one of these videos in a little while, just a little discussion one. Now, this one comes from GameSpot, but honestly, if you type in Joker movie, Oscars, or anything like that into Google, there will be constant news articles popping up. And that's because you may have heard things like how it's been submitted for Venice Film Festival and just all these moving elements that are getting people to speak about it already. So this is one of the most recent articles saying Joker movie described as a cinematic achievement on a high level. Now, I want to go through this very, very quickly, talk about how it could be nominated for an Oscar, but also I would love, because I guarantee there's going to be some people watching this video who feel differently. Now, I'll talk about that a little bit later, but this usually comes from the perspective of people who are saying this isn't anything like the comic book, which means it can't be good. And, as much as you may be watching this right now, just try and separate yourself from that, just because I get where you're coming from, but, that doesn't mean that this isn't going to be a very, very good movie. And just because it isn't adapting a straight up storyline from whether that's, you really like The Killing Joke and everything of the such, doesn't mean that they won't make a really good character study movie with Joaquin Phoenix's Arthur Fleck descending into madness in a very psychological film. But, more about that a little bit later, I guess. So one of 2019's most anticipated movies is Joker starring Joaquin Phoenix in the title role. The movie opens widely in October, but is premiering at the Venice Film Festival this month and the Toronto International Film Festival in September. Now, Cameron Bailey, the co-head and artistic director for the Toronto Festival, has seen Joker and he was blown away. So speaking to the Toronto Sun, Bailey said that the movie is terrific and it is deserving of screening on the festival's biggest stage. He said the story, which strays from the comic book source material, which we just literally went over, is really original, while the cinematography was spoken highly of as well. So first of all, it's terrific, so it should play on our largest stage, but it's a really original take on comic book movies and on the Joker character in particular, Bailey said. It's not based on existing story, it has one of the greatest actors in modern cinema, Joaquin Phoenix, in the lead, and Robert De Niro is in it as well, one of the best actors that has ever lived. But it has an interesting tone and approach to it. It's set in the late 70s, early 80s, and it feels like it was made then. It's gritty in its look, it has references to Martin Scorsese's filmmaking, and it feels like a cinematic achievement on a high level. Although it's working with very populist material, it has great ambition. Now, without rehashing too much of the video that I made a couple of weeks ago, which I've probably already said is in the cards above, do please check it out if you haven't already, if you're maybe on the fence about this movie, or if you're a big Joker fan but you feel uncomfortable with how different of an approach this might be making. Watch my video on why I think it will be great. Maybe it will restore your faith, maybe if you're already hyped, it will make you feel even more hyped for what it is. But either way, without rehashing that too much, because that whole video is dedicated to why I think obviously it will be good, is because, you know, you can clearly tell from what this guy is saying here about, you know, it being submitted to the film festival, why it's so good, what he feels about it. You could get that from the trailer. Now, I know not everyone did, but it had a very, very unique feel. We've known for the longest time this has had a very, very small budget, which often bring films a very genuine, authentic, you know, portrayal, or how do I say, depiction on screen. Usually films like that are kind of the best film, rather than like a $300,000 CGI shite fest, if you know what I mean, that is just meant to be good because, oh, we spent a huge whopping big budget on it. You don't need to do that, especially with a character study of a film that is, you know, the Joker or Joker movie. Just seeing even more articles, and this is a little bit older. This comes with the Oscar news, for example, with them saying Barbara indicates the studio was convinced rather quickly and predicts that the film will continue its ascent after more people see the finished product. In fact, he even thinks the film will soar straight to the Oscars. I have to say, Warner's was convinced pretty rapidly because it's a really surprising film, Barbara said. It's the most surprising film we've got this year. This one's going straight to the Oscars, even though it's gritty, dark, violent, it has amazing ambition and scope. And this specific discussion right here is them talking about it even being submitted to the Venice Film Festival. But the point of discussion here is that Warner Brothers are very, very confident with this film. Usually they take a bit longer and a bit and ahhry with maybe selecting something to go forward like that. But they were very easily sold on this because they know what they've got under their belt is a film packing a mighty, whopping big punch that could seriously see an Oscar for a comic book movie such as something like Joker being given out this year. We've even then got Todd Phillips saying, I don't care if I run the risk of not winning, why shouldn't I go in a competition when I know what we've got on our hands? So I don't know, guys, I'm just, you know, really excited, carried in this whole big buzz of what seems to be going around with this movie. I think, to be honest, when this movie comes out, of course some people are going to be annoyed at the different take of the way Todd Phillips has decided to do this Joker movie. Obviously, if you're watching this right now, you may know or may already know that it's not going to be probably what you're thinking. You probably should have got that from the trailer, but just through further discussion throughout the months, it's not going to be a Joker from the comic books. This should already be established, as I said, months and months and months ago, because we knew it was an Elseworlds film. But the thing that I and a lot of people have already taken out of this is that if you accept the changes, it's still going to be very Joker in core characteristics of the character. And I think they're going to display that in a very, very good way and a very accurate way. As much as people are saying this is different from the comics, it's very accurate because even the Killing Joke, which isn't the canonical origin for the Joker, which I've said 1,000 times over, but either way, a popular theme, whether that be through different live action iterations of the Joker, whether that be Heath Ledger's post-war vet kind of popular theory, or other characters, whether that be the Killing Joke comic book version, it's always been an exploration of mental health. Well, how do I know that, genius? Well, the Joker is very mentally disturbed, shall we say, and that must have started a spiral staircase at some point, and that is what this movie is, starting with Arthur Fleck, a guy disregarded from society, and then, you know, slowly gets his confidence and his groove and empowerment through becoming the man that he becomes in the film, which, yes, may be a slightly deranged person, shall we say, but that is going to be the interesting take of it. Now, this is where a lot of people are saying, oh, well, now they're popularizing that mental health turns you into some kind of psychopath, clown killer, you know, from the comics. Now, I think that's a load of rubbish. This isn't what this movie means by when it says that it serves like as a broader cautionary tale. If anything, you know, I think this is one of those movies that is just gonna make the audience think. This isn't meant to automatically think, oh, we should feel sorry for this guy Arthur Fleck who becomes the Joker, even though, by the way, I don't think he's going to go around blowing up buildings in this movie in a Joker-esque way, trying to get, you know, somebody's attention like Batman's. This isn't the vibe. This is going to go truly to the core of the character and bring that Joker out. Not necessarily a massive murderous one, and I know people were worried about the, you know, justice, or should I say Robin Hood element that might be going along with him. But either way, we're going to get a crazy character for sure by the end of the film, one who hates society and wants to change it in a way, in a very anarchic, chaotic way perhaps, depending on what they go with this Joaquin Phoenix Arthur Fleck Joker. I mean, as director Todd Phillips even says about the movie, we didn't follow anything from the comic books, which people are going to be mad about. We just wrote our own version of where a guy like Joker might come from. That's what was interesting to me. We're not even doing Joker, but the story of becoming Joker. It's about this man. Now they are doing Joker. Don't miss, because I'm gonna get a load of comments saying, but they're not doing Joker. They are. It's kind of like in a Gotham sense of a way, in terms of what I'm trying to explain right now through what Todd Phillips is saying there. It's about, like, don't get me wrong, we will see Joker in the movie, but it's about, this is a character study at the end of the day, guys. So that is what this movie is. It's about a guy named Arthur Fleck, transformation, duration of the movie, a couple of hours, then Joker. Or maybe Joker, like, obviously at some point 3/4 of the way throughout, but it's about that goddamn breakdown of this man's delve into madness. That's the best way to put it. But I think at the end of the day, the bottom line, people will see this movie, see the cinematography, see the way it was made, see the story they choose to follow and the way they choose to depict the Joker here in a very different kind of feel to your traditional comic book movie. I think that is the bottom line overall, is that a lot of people are thinking, oh, superhero movies are like this, comic book movies are like that. They're like Guardians of the Galaxy to Endgame. Not necessarily. You can make a whole different type of superhero movie, and that is what is making this something very, very special and very anticipated to be served up on a plate for audiences in the movie theater coming October. And that is what is probably going to accelerate this to obviously the Oscar nominations. And I have no doubt that Joaquin Phoenix's talent will do that. Hopefully he goes beyond a nomination and he actually gets an Oscar with this. And as for Best Picture, that's something else. Depends obviously, but you know, with what people are saying about the buzz, it looks like the movie as a whole is going to be very, very something truly special. But I'm gonna leave it there, guys. I've been talking for absolutely forever about this. Let me know if you're excited for the Joker movie. Check out my Why Joker Will Be Great in the Cards Above video if you haven't seen that already. And just let me know if you think this is going to go to the Oscars. Do you think that people will love it despite it not being maybe what they're thinking it's going to be with a Joker movie? And then the way this is even being designed and made as by like a filmmaker like Todd Phillips is that it's meant to be a film. It's not meant to be a comic book movie per se. This is going next level in terms of actual filmmaking and just then slapping the Joker character in it. Like this video if you did enjoy it, subscribe for more videos just like this. Join my Discord server to talk about this movie with me personally. But other than that, thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.